Hello and welcome to Carol's Kitchen, and today we're going to be making crispy and chewy chocolate chip cookies. But these may not be the way you've always made cookies before, if you've ever made them before. These contain some different ingredients that makes them healthier, with more protein in, far less sweet, and yeah, I guess less guilt-ridden probably is the answer. So I'm starting with some quinoa flour. Now this is what it looks like in the bowl, and you can see that it's flour like any other kind of flour. But what I've done is I have used ordinary quinoa. Here it is, which is nice and granular. Oh, gone everywhere. I use it as a base for salads, and to replace other grains in my cooking. But I'm now experimenting with using it in my baking. Now, here in the UK, can't find quinoa flour. So what I did was I played with my Nutribullet here, and ended up with quinoa flour really easily. So for those who are in foreign parts, it's 1 cup of quinoa flour. I don't know whether any of you have a set of cups in the UK, but these are my cups. Quick and easy to weigh stuff out with those. But if you don't, then that's 125 grams. And then I'm going to add some stabilizing starch, if you like. Now I'm going to add corn flour. You could add arrowroot if you had it. Now I haven't got any arrowroot today, so rather than go and queue to get into Tesco, I'm going to substitute that with some corn flour. So I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of corn flour to that, roughly. Very sticky stuff. Corn flour. And then we're going to add a little bit of baking powder. Any baking powder will do, but just half a teaspoon. I'll just use one of these teaspoons, but I could have used my other spoons. You can add a little bit of sea salt if you like, if you want to make them chocolate and sea salt or anything else with sea salt in, because that's obviously really popular at the minute. You can add sea salt if you like. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a few grounds of sea salt in. And then those are my dry ingredients. Now, I actually like my cookies really chocolatey, so I am going to add some dark cocoa powder to this. If you have a look in here, it's really dark. This isn't milk chocolate, this is dark chocolate. Has no added sugar to it at all. It's not like drinking chocolate. This is dark chocolate. It is literally just cocoa powder. So I am going to add a dessert spoonful of cocoa powder to this, just to make it extra chocolatey, and just mix the dry ingredients together in the bowl. Then I'm going to start a second bowl, which will have some wet ingredients in. So in here I've already melted, you can just see it's moving around in the bottom. Can you just see that? I think you probably can. That is coconut oil. So you could use butter if you wanted, but that is 90 grams of coconut oil melted, which is about half a cup if you're using cups. And then to that I'm going to add an equivalent amount of coconut sugar. So you can see it's much darker. It's the texture of sugar, but it comes from coconuts. So I'm going to add that in and then mix that around so that you get this nice, you see that nice kind of wet sloppy mixture. Then I'm going to add some vanilla extract, if I can get the bottle open. There we go. Not vanilla essence, this is vanilla extract. It's much stronger, it's natural, much better. Yes, it's more expensive, but it's the real McCoy. And then I'm going to add an egg. So we always break eggs into a separate bowl, just on the off chance that it might be not 100% good. Just mix that up slightly and then pour that in. And that's all your wet ingredients. Mix those together. And then, obviously, we're going to add one to the other. I will give you in the recipe, which I will add below, I will give you a vegan alternative. But other than that, this is dairy free and gluten free. So for those of you like me who are trying to eat less of those things because they really don't do you any good, these are ideal. Then I'm going to add one to the other. Stir those around and then add, before I finished mixing, chocolate chips. Ooh, excuse me. Now again, I've got half a cup, is about 90 grams of chocolate chips in there. I use the dark ones usually. You could use milk, whatever you've got in the cupboard. That's what I've got in the cupboard at the moment. So in line with my other recipes at the moment, I'm using what I've got in the cupboard. Needless to say, this is quite a soft mixture at the minute because we've melted the fat. So what I've got to do next is, you can see that this is really quite, it's what I would call a soft dropping consistency for making a cake. It's not a biscuit. So we're going to pop that in the fridge and leave that to chill for at least 30 minutes before we shape them and put the cookies on a tray ready to bake. Once the mixture has chilled for at least half an hour, and you can leave it really for several hours if you want to, then it comes out much thicker like this. You can mould it. Now, one of the things that I use, which children love to use, is an ice cream scoop. So you just scoop something, a spoonful out the mixture, pop it, let's move that, pop it onto the tray, and then just press it down gently into a cookie sized blob. So you roll it in your hands onto the tray, press it down into a cookie sized blob. And there we have it, a tray full of cookies ready to go into the oven. It's really quick, really easy to do, ideal for the children to do if you've got children. So I'm going to pop those in the oven. It's about 350 Fahrenheit for roughly 10 minutes, just depends on your oven. You need to keep an eye on them, but they need to be nice and crisp and set around the edge. Doesn't matter so much about the middle. And here we have the finished cookies. They look absolutely delicious. These are cooled. Okay, so they're nice and spongy in the middle, nice and gooey and chocolatey. So enjoy. Let me know if you make these. Let me know how you get on with them. Let me know if you enjoy them. Let me know if you add different ingredients to them. and I'll see you the next time we come into Carol's kitchen.